Hello, and once again, we are live with the Modern Mystery School UK and EU podcast and YouTube channel. And yes, it's that time again where we call in the Master of the Stars, Al. Aleks, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you, Davina Kate?
I am doing extremely well, but I'm a little bit concerned because it seems we have another eclipse coming. And whilst we know the world didn't end last time and the last eclipse, there seems to be quite a lot of hoo-ha over this because it's in Taurus and people are very worried. So tell us what's going on.
Go build your bomb shelter. No, don't. You don't need to build a bomb shelter. I'm just kidding. As I mentioned last time we spoke, I mean, eclipses have been happening for thousands of years. None of them have ever heralded the end of the world. So there's a pretty good chance that this one won't either.
Well, that is always good to hear. But what I did like from last time is that we learned that, the eclipse is a chance for us to grow. So, and am I right in thinking that each eclipse gives us a different opportunity to grow? And if that's the case, what does this one mean for us?
Yeah. So first of all, lunar eclipses deal with our inner world. Right. And so our emotions and, I guess you could say the emotional skeletons in the closet or attachments, things we haven't gotten over. Right. And eclipses manifest both internally, but they also manifest globally as well. And so, I wanted to talk a little bit about both because, on the personal level, I think everybody's going to be really excited, when I mention root chakra healing.
Okay, I think everybody has now stopped. Put their cup of tea down. Everybody is listening. Root chakra healing. What was that?
What? So on a personal level, this lunar eclipse in Taurus is all about feeling alive again. So in esoteric astrology, Taurus actually governs over the flow of chi in the system, but it also governs over passion and abundance. And all of these are tied, of course, into having more chi in your system, but also they are tied into the root chakra as well. And so when I talk about the global collective piece, if you've been working on the personal piece, it'll be much easier to work with.
I love that. I love that. And I didn't realize that Taurus governed over those aspects. It's really interesting.
Yeah, and because Taurus is the sign of strength and stability and endurance, right? And so as we have more chi flow in the body, we have better emotional health, we have more abundance, we have more passion, and we just generally feel more alive, right? When you're low in energy, even your body just feels like kind of like dead, right? And so part of the theme for the next 6 months is returning back to life, restoring that vitality of the physical body. And from restoring that vitality, also bringing up passion as well as abundance.
Well, everybody loves passion and everybody loves abundance. So that's a good combination, isn't it, really?
And I mean, even if you just feel alive, everybody likes that too. Nobody wants to walk around feeling like a zombie in their life, an emotional zombie.
Yeah, so this is really interesting. So obviously, our podcast is based around lineage teachings and you are a Hermetic astrologer. So what the lineage would we be looking to do to make the absolute most of this? Gaining the abundance, the passion, and etc.
Well, the first thing you can do, you learn this in Empower Thyself. And if you haven't attended Empower Thyself, you're going to learn it there. Is there's the Chi-Do that's handed down in Empower Thyself, right? And so it's important to get that chi flow going, right? And also, even just working with your sanctuary meditation, there's that piece in the beginning where you do the chakra opening, right? And so even just doing that meditation to get the chakras open and flowing, because the chakras are what connect us to spirit. And so as they are more open, we also feel more alive and abundant, right? Now, there's a few other things that can also increase passion and vitality and that kind of thing. And so one of the most accessible, especially for those of you who perhaps have not attended Empower Thyself, or just discovering the Mystery School for the first time, if you can find a crystal healer in the lineage, because in sacred geometry too, there's actually a healing called the libido healing. And so that can help to open up the root chakra in healthy ways and bring back more energy and more vitality and more of a, you know, go get them kind of feeling, right? To help combat apathy and to help you feel alive again.
Oh, this is so good. I mean, the crystal healing, the crystal healing class, this is sacred geometry 2, and the prereq for that is sacred geometry 1, and sacred geometry 2 is a whole day of crystal healing. So if you haven't taken that class, please go and take it, because that's one of the awesome healings that you talked about, but there's a gazillion actually in that class, which are great.
And go find a friend and exchange those libido healings, or find a practitioner who offers them. You know, they're really great, and they're going to open up that root chakra in healthy ways and get you grounded, but also, like I said, make you feel alive again, which is really needed at this point.
And I love that you mentioned the sanctuary meditation, because that's one of my all-time, top tips, which is that it's probably the most underutilized tool that we have.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most powerful, I think. And you learn that in Empower Thyself. But if you haven't been to an Empower Thyself, actually, the people that are teachers in the Mystery School actually can provide a class called the Sanctuary Meditation class, and you can actually go and learn how to do that. So, I mean, I highly recommend that if you haven't yet been able to go to Empower Thyself.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I was actually going to recommend, for those of you who have attended Sacred Geometry 5, or know of the Fire Soul infusion. And that's a really amazing healing that wakes up the Kundalini energy, which is sitting at that root there, helping you to feel alive. And the beautiful thing is that it connects you back to your purpose as well, so that it reactivates that passion.
That's amazing. And we actually have Sacred Geometry 5 happening in the UK in December, but there are other practitioners already, out there. So, please, go and find one. I can always put you in touch, and I'm sure you can as well, Al. So we can help people get connected.
Absolutely, because the whole theme for the next 6 months is to combat apathy, to combat stagnation.
Yeah.
Right? Because Taurus is a sign that can move, and it can move consistently, but it's also a sign that can stay at rest and stay in the comfort zone, right? And in that comfort zone, there's a lack of progress that can lead to apathy or depression or a lack of abundance and that kind of thing. And so we want to engage the energy of Taurus from the highest, from the highest light, from the highest vibration that it offers. And so, working with these tools gives you the opportunity to have the abundance, the passion, the vitality.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that we need to know?
Yeah, well, here's the thing, this is also important on the collective level. Sometimes we forget how our own personal healing can change things on the collective. Right. And so I believe it was last night, I put out a video talking a little bit about dogma, actually, and the effects of dogma. And so when we are in times of abundance, ease, trust, flow, it's really easy to put aside dogma. It's really easy to put aside things that are programming from somewhere else. But when you're not feeling alive, when you're not abundant, when you're not passionate, that dogma comes in to replace those things. The dogma can replace, in particular, the passion, actually, right? People who are very dogmatic seem very passionate, right? And so when we don't have enough of our own vitality, abundance, and that feeling of being alive, then dogma comes in and creates negative versions of those things for ourselves. In the tarot, Taurus is the Hierophant. And the dark side of the Hierophant is that it is the dogma that comes from, like large institutions, that comes from traditions, that comes from religions. And so, the teachings of these things, maybe not the government, but, the teaching of sacred traditions can be incredibly stabilizing and uplifting and powerful, but they can also be misused as well, in ways that create the opposite, that are destabilizing. And so in our own personal work, if we don't want to contribute to the zealotry, to the dogmatism, basically to the hatred, part of how we do that is we have to make ourselves alive so that we never buy into it, so that we never feed it, so that we know that something different is possible.
Well, I think that is a wonderful motivation for us to put into action all of those things that you have suggested, because we want to feel alive, and we want to contribute on a global level, and as we know, it all starts with us, so within, so without. So I think that's tremendous. We've got some really valuable tips there, Al, and then and if people want to know any more, they could get in touch with you if they wanted to get some personal, according to their charts and things like that.
Absolutely. Sometimes eclipses do affect us more personally than others. Sometimes it makes contact over a certain part of your chart. And so maybe you feel it more, maybe you feel it less. But I mean, also your relationship with passion and abundance also matter in the equation too. Because if you are in a passionate and abundant state right now, and you're feeling alive, you may not notice this particular eclipse. Or you might only notice it in the reflection of others. You might notice the difference, right? The contrast.
Yeah.
And so you might observe this at work in other people. And so for those of you, who end up in that state, I'm always going to encourage people, be that light, and remind them, as you hold an anchor, that you make it possible for them to also rise above that too.
Thank you. That is absolutely wonderful. And thank you for sharing your wisdom again with us. We very much appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much.
Oh, it was my pleasure. So everyone, don't forget, get that libido healing, get the fire soul activation, and do your Cheeto. And you will feel alive, passionate, and abundant. And dogma won't be able to touch you in negative ways.
Love it. Take care, everyone. Take that advice, and I'll see you alive and with passion and abundance over the next 6 months. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.